like these are private rituals inside my home. But when I'm saying this, it's like it's very powerful, and that's how I learned how to. And that's how I first started learning how what's a good response is through candles, through the flames.
We were talking about the use of words that are familiar with heathens that maybe not be
Yeah,
familiar. These are terms that might get used, like you say, clairvoyancy and some of the other things that we were talking about. Would
yeah.
you, if you had to put or if you could think of a word that heathens are familiar with that falls under that category, what
Um,
word would you think that would
um,
come to mind? Like, what word
for
would you put to stuff like that?
for mediumship, it would be Sather.
Yep.
For mediums themselves or psychics, Vulva, or Saith Kona, or Say Mother,
Hmm.
which is the male version equivalent. Um,
Yep. That's
those,
what I was thinking too.
yeah. In other cultures, it could be shaman, but they're also medicine men.
Yeah.
Um, they're I wouldn't say they're healers because I don't believe in one person to be able to heal everybody else. I see them as healing aids
Mhm.
because we are the we are ourselves are our own true healers. Like if a doctor, you can go to a doctor all day long, they can prescribe you a treatment, but if you don't follow that regimen, you ain't gonna get well.
Yeah, no, you're right. I've talked to somebody else about this type of thing too, where and they basically said almost the exact same thing, where
Yeah,
you can go to a physician, you can go to a doctor, you can get the prescription, you can get the regimen,
yeah,
but if you're not following it, what good is it doing?
yeah. So
So they,
they're not the healers because it's not like they're putting their hands on you and oh you're well.
yeah, like abracadabra, you're better, or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Do a chant. No, these chants they're doing these. They don't just do chants. They give you herbs to do. They give you a prescription of what to do, a regiment every day to like if they say go outside that you need to go outside more, and you don't go outside more, you ain't gonna get well.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
follow the doctor's orders, right?
yeah,
You got to take the
yeah,
medicine. You've
yeah.
got to do the work to see
Yeah.
the results.
It's just like the story of how Kai Faust from Halung got into shamanism. He was he had like lesions all over his body or something, like
Mm.
skin lesions, and he could not get anybody. No dermatologist could ever help him out. So he was desperate, I guess, and his girlfriend at the time was into shamanism, and he just gave it a try, and he was told for I couldn't remember how many days was to go how many mornings to go and brush your skin against the morning dew, and he did that, and it didn't take the full time either. It immediately cleared up.
Wow, I never heard that story before. That's
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. He even shares that a lot
does
about
he?
what happened. Yeah, because he was skeptical at first, and then when he saw it, that's what got him to follow that path. Because he's actually is a legitimate shaman.
Hmm.
Because he trained underneath the shaman, followed them, apprenticed underneath them, and then
Yeah.
became one himself. And before he started tattooing, and then he tattooed, and he was doing tattoos, and then the story unfolds, and then abracadabra, he's a
And
singer.
Hylon.
Hey, yeah, which he doesn't call himself a singer either. He's like, I just write these words and stuff, and then do my chants and stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, that goes back to, I think, just the spirit of Hylung is they their performances, even though they are being booked on tours and they're going to places around the world,
yeah,
the experience, the live
yeah,
experience is very ritual like. It's
yeah,
and they call them rituals.
yeah,
And having attended these live rituals, this one time myself, and then anybody else who has,
Yeah.
can say for sure, like, this is exactly what it is. It's not
Yeah.
just a concert. It's not a performance
Yeah.
per se. It is
They're
there
the
is
real deal.
theater. There's theater,
Yeah.
right? The ritual theater, the garb, the
Yeah.
atmosphere, the feelings, and all of that.
Yeah.
So for Kai to be in that genuine headspace, that mindset, that heart space of, I'm not a
Yeah.
singer. I'm just performing these chants, these
In that
rituals, right?
headspace, every
Whatever.
night he says he goes into a trance every time every ritual he does is Halong. He's in that headspace. He's in a ritual because even the first one, that one at Castle Fest, the
Yeah.
first live, he was in that moment. He was in that ritual space in his head. He didn't know. He came out of it not knowing what just happened, if it was successful or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm talking about he's like the real deal.
Yeah.